I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Zhi Ling. I am a nutritionist, also a member of Nutrition Society of Malaysia, and I'm also a content creator. So I create content on social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. So most of my content is revolving around teaching Malaysians to eat healthy in a less intimidating way. So basically just tell them that you don't have to choose between everything. Yeah, so that's basically it. So today we are going to have a very simple demonstration. The first recipe will be chicken oat meatball. So yes, I'm using oat, and the oat, yes, is coming from Quaker. So it's a simple oat. So I'm going to show you later, alright? And the second recipe would be fried brown rice. So a lot of people don't know how to. Basically, some people they don't even know how to fry a proper rice, fried rice, like even white rice. So today I'm going to share some tips to help you to fry a more delectable brown rice. And the last one would be oatmeal pancake, if we have time. How much time do we have? 1 hour, okay. So if you have time, then I'll continue with oatmeal pancake. So right now, I'm going to start with chicken oat meatball first. Right, so this particular session is basically just me trying to consolidate what we learned in the morning, or what we have heard from all the professors and all the presenters in the morning, and then make it into a reality, make it into applicable in our life, right? So a lot of the time we talk about whether we should, how we should increase our whole brain education and all, but then we realize a lot of the time the barrier is they don't know how to use it. So this is important. This particular demonstration, or basically, or generally, a lot of those cooking demonstration or recipes about oat out there is very important for the audience, because that's how they can see how they can use in real life application. And so right now, this particular recipe, chicken oat meatball, is like what Kathy trying to envision about oat, which is to bring oat out of breakfast. So you are not just eating oat for breakfast anymore, you are also incorporating oat into your savory meal. Right, so the recipe is super simple. It just means chicken, 250 grams of meat chicken. It's chicken oat meatball, so of course we're going to use meat chicken. And then we are going to use quick cook oats or instant oats. We are using quick cook or instant because raw oat can be too dry to put it in oat meatball. So this kind of oat, it gives it enough time to absorb some water from the chicken, but then it doesn't dry out the chicken too much, right? So in this oat, I've already included oats seasoning powder, which is chicken seasoning powder. Okay, you can use mushroom seasoning powder, you can use chicken seasoning powder. And then I also added some sugar and black pepper. Sugar is optional, but usually we do have to have a little bit of sugar to enhance the taste of food. So in this particular amount, this is 30 grams of quick oats. Just mix it in. So we have all the dry ingredient and the meat, and then we will just have to use 1 teaspoon of oil. 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of oil, depends on how are you going to bake it, how are you going to cook your chicken. So if you are air frying it, maybe you can add a little bit more, or you can just spray oil on your chicken oat meatball later. So now I'm going to just add in 1 teaspoon of oil. Alright, so now we are going to mix it, but I would like to have one volunteer or 2 volunteers come over to mix it with me and also to roll the ball with me. Anyone who would like to volunteer as well? So we're gonna use gloves and then to roll the meatball together. So there is one tip for you here. So if you are someone who are not too sure, if you are doing it more than this portion, or you are doing less this portion, or you are trying to change the recipe, and you don't know whether if you don't know whether the head is good, you can take one small portion out and then just put it in like this. Just one little ball and then put it in the microwave and then you cook until it's like dry or what. And then you taste it. And then if the seasoning is not enough, then you can adjust. If the seasoning is good, then you can just leave it. So this is one of the ways that you can adjust your meat or dumpling seasoning, for example, so that you don't have to guess it, right? So you just have to kind of mix it all together, like this. And then if it's like sticky for you, pour a bit of oil. Yeah, make until the oat is evenly incorporated in the chicken. You don't want big chunk of oat in your chicken meatball, because later when you take it on air fry, then there will only be one or two chicken meatball that has a lot of oat. Then it wouldn't be blended anymore. Yeah. So now you can just roll it up with roughly 20 grams of meat. So you can just agar-agar the size of the ball, then the rest of the ball should be the same size. So it can be 20 to 30 grams, depends on your preferences. So if it's 30 grams, then maybe when you air fry it, baking it, you need to extend the time. Okay? So we are using oat in chicken meatball to replace breadcrumb. So usually chicken meatball we use breadcrumb, right? But now we are using oat. So it's kind of like the same theory. We are using oat to bind the chicken together. So because oat, when you cook oatmeal, it's kind of like jelly-ish and then it's quite sticky. So we are using that property to bind the chicken meat together. Usually I'll just go for 20 to 5 grams because you can cook faster. And then I always like to have one whole bag of this meatball sitting in my fridge so that I can use this meatball in any recipe. So if you didn't realize, inside the meatball, the recipe, the ingredients super simple. There isn't even any onion or mushroom or whatever chicken meatball ingredient. So it's just very simple. Meat, chicken, oat, chicken accent powder, sugar, and pepper. So that's why it can be incorporated in any dish for the week. So it can be a very good meal prep for you. You can just add that into any dish that you want. It can be Western food, it can be Malaysian food, it can be any Southeast Asian dish or soup. So today we are going to air fry it in air fryer, but at home I will try baking it in oven. So if you have only an oven in your home, then you can bake it at 190 degrees Celsius and for 15 to 18 minutes. So it depends on how big your ball is. Thank you so much. Thank you. right now, we are going to just air fry it in the air fryer. So for air fryer, it can be the same temperature, 190 degrees Celsius. But for 10 minutes, you try to space it out in your air fryer. Don't leave it too close to each other, if not it will be too crowded and won't be getting any browning, nice browning on the meatball. We might have to bake it into batch. This is kind of the amount that you want to go for in one small air fryer like this. Then you can just spray it with your oil spray. That's it. Then you can just move it around. And move it later. And another benefit of having oats in the meatball is that it gives that very subtle nutty flavor. You know, when you cook oats or you pan fried oat meal or pan fried pancake, you have that nutty flavor, right? So that's what you get from oat meatballs. So we are going to air fry for 10 minutes at 190 degrees Celsius. So that's all for oat meatball. Now we are going to proceed to fried rice, fried brown rice. So the ingredients for fried brown rice is quite simple. It's just marinated chicken, cooked brown rice, slightly undercooked brown rice, some meat, and then some vegetables. Basically, that's it, and eggs. So I learned a tip from my chef boyfriend. So when you cook rice, try to cook slightly. It's the ratio of rice to water is just 1:1 for white rice, but for brown rice it can be 1 to 1.25. I know it's kind of like very specific, but we are all researchers, right? So we are going for specific number. So it's 1 to 1.25 of water. So one part of brown rice, 1.25 of water. So that amount of the ratio is very nice, and then this is what you get for the texture. So it's like bitty like that. So it's not clumpy, and it's just nice, and it's not too hard also. And also another thing, I think this tip a lot of people know already. When you cook fried rice, you would like to go for cooked rice that has been stored in the fridge, so that it can dry up some water a little bit. And when you stir fry, you will get that bitty texture also. So now we are going to prepare everything. So for the chicken, I'm using boneless chicken thigh. You can use chicken breast, you can use any part of your favorite part of the chicken. So this one I marinated the chicken with soy sauce, oyster sauce, white pepper powder, cornstarch and water. So if you are using meat chicken, which is the sample that I'm gonna give you later, you don't have to use cornstarch, because the cornstarch is just helping you to coat the chicken nicely, so that when you cook it later, it can protect the chicken so that the moisture doesn't, you don't lose too much moisture from the chicken. So this amount of white rice, the amount of cooked rice is 1 cup. 1 cup of cooked rice is 200 grams. 200 grams of brown rice. So after cooking it using that ratio that I mentioned just now, it goes up to about 400 to 450 grams of brown rice. Now we are just cooking and cook the chicken first. So we're just going to use a little bit of the oil to serve the chicken. So let the chicken sit in the pot for a little bit to move it around. Usually people also use shrimp for their protein for the fried rice, right? I think that's also another topic. One side starting to brown already, around. I'm going to fully cook the protein first. If any one of you are not familiar with fried rice, I'm pretty sure a lot of you quite familiar with fried rice. But if any one of you are not familiar, whenever you are cooking fried rice, you like to start with protein first. So you start to cook with your protein, and you move it. You have to remove the protein out of your pot first, and then you start with your egg, your rice, and then you add in the protein. So that's the procedure. You can see that the texture is quite hard, most likely because of the cornstarch. Glossy, bouncy. Cornstarch plays a very important role in velveting. This step is called velveting in Chinese cooking. So a lot of the Chinese cooking, Chinese chefs, they love coating their protein, especially meat like this, with cornstarch, so that they can protect the protein by preventing them from losing water. You can do that for your chicken breast also, so that chicken breast is not that dry. So once it's cooked, you can just move it away. Okay, now we are ready to cook egg. This recipe I didn't use any garlic, but you can use garlic like you want. You can use any aromatic that you like. I only beat this only right before I cook the rice, because I don't want it to release water. According to some Cantonese chef, if you beat it early, the water will release from your egg, and then it will be like too watery. Yeah. So it's one of the tips that I learned from Petaling Jaya. So that's how they cook for their fried rice. So a little bit more oil. Just a bit more. And we're not gonna use any oil later anymore. And the pork, we'll heat it up a little bit. You don't have to season the egg also because the chicken already is quite seasoned. Once the edge of the egg is forming, then I can start to stir around. You would like to break up the egg as much as possible so that it has almost the same size as your rice. Some people, they like to cook their rice with egg first. So that could be another way that you can have a very, very evenly coated fried rice. So you can do that too. Depends on your preferences. Right, so actually this is another grain that we are going to use. It's corn. Right, corn is actually also whole grain. So a lot of people forget that corn is another grain called whole grain, and corn is carbohydrate, right? So we're going to add in corn. Right now you can't see anything because it's blends. They kind of blend together. So at this point, if you would like to add any more vegetables, you can add vegetables now. But the vegetables have to be cut into similar size as the rice. So as small as possible, so that it can be cooked faster and it doesn't release too much water. So the water can be evaporated fast. So now we can add rice. You can turn down the heat a little bit so that you can take time to get your seasoning. So what I need is a little bit of MSG, just a little bit. And then a few dashes of white pepper. If you like it peppery, then you can add more. You can add some soy sauce also, if you like. Okay, now you can add back your chicken. Do you like your fried rice brownish, or do you like your fried rice like just plain like this? Brown. Okay. Take up the heat. Stir it around. This is not fire. This is just not cooked by fire. So if you're cooking with fire, you can just stir it around and then play with the fire a little bit and do that popping. I'm not as experienced, so just stir it around. But make sure you scoop it from the bottom and then you break it apart like that. it will be easier for you to get all the eggs in and get all the seasoning evenly distributed. And the last step would be just adding your spring onion. So you can cut your spring onion as, so all your vegetables, if possible, cut it as small as the spring onion. So that when you eat it, the texture will be more pleasant also. At this point, you can also take that and then adjust your seasoning to your liking. Just wait a bit, few days only, okay? Okay, so basically that's it lah. Very simple. There you go, fried brown rice. I think the most crucial part of fried brown rice is just to make sure your brown rice is not hard. That's all. And everything else is quite personal. It can be adjusted to your preferences. Last recipe. We have time. Oatmeal pancake. So have anyone tried using oat in their pancake? Yes? Okay. Good. So I lost the green one. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are quite familiar with that recipe also, because it's quite simple to prepare. So we are going to use banana as the flavor. So ideally, you would like to use overripe banana, because overripe banana will have that flavor, and also it's enough, liquidy enough to add water into your oatmeal, and then it's sweet enough, right? But I will just make use of what I have right now. It's not overripe, but it is banana. So we are going to use 100 grams of banana, or 2 pieces of the banana size like this. If it's the Cavendish banana, the longer one, just one enough. And then 35 grams of instant oats, instant or pig food, whichever that is accessible for you. And in this instant oat, I've already mixed in baking soda. And yeah, that's it. Very simple. This oatmeal pancake has very simple ingredients: banana, egg, oat, and baking soda. And then oil, we just have to use oil free. So this recipe is not for the entire family. So if you want to cook for entire family, you have to duplicate it. Okay. This is almost like a quick recipe for those who are rushing, or those who are living alone. So you can just mix it and then you can cook it right. So just want to mix it in a, this is quite a big bowl. So you want to mash the banana, so of course. Okay, so match it. So if you are using overripe banana, it will be much easier to mash. My banana cannot make it on time. I bought it early, but then it cannot make it on time. I asked them to write faster, they cannot. So if that's the case, and then if you think it's like too dry, you can add some water or you can add another egg. That's the way. And if you think the flavor might not be as sweet as overripe banana, you can just add a little bit of sugar. And in the oats, I also add in a pinch of salt. So for sometimes people don't use, a lot of time actually, people forget to use salt in their sweet recipe. But actually, if you add a little bit of salt, it can bring up the flavor a lot. I don't know how the food science going on there, but it's just work. Just add a little bit of salt to your sweet recipe. So inside this bowl, I mix in baking soda and salt. So you just mix the ingredient together. This recipe, you can, to be honest, you can adjust the amount of oat and adjust the amount of egg to your liking. Some people may not like, some people like a very dense pancake, some people don't like it. So if you don't like dense pancake, then reduce the amount of oat. This is the texture that I'm going for. I'm going to continue to stir it anymore. So let's start cleaning it up. Anything? Just spray. You can use butter, but for easy demonstration, I'm just going to use spray. So my personal favorite size of pancake is usually 1 heaped tablespoon per pancake. And it's easier to cook that way as well. I just spread it around. You don't want it to be too thick because it's gonna be dense. So just come down. Don't put it too much. Don't put too much of the batter in one go. We will wait. Usually, I would say the pancake. My first piece is usually the experimental piece because you're still gauging the temperature of the pan, and then you're still gauging whether the pancake is like working or not. So the first bit usually is the experimental one. If anyone has very good pancake flipping or pancake cooking tips, please let us know. That's my issue. Usually the first one is always the experimental one. But if you really want to keep it safe, you can just keep the heat low so that it doesn't overburn. So one way to gauge whether I can flip it or not is to see whether there is any bubble. Is that how you gauge it also? To see whether there is any bubble. But this is like not the usual pancake, so it's quite dense. quite soft yet. Still soft. Is this okay for you, the color? Okay. It looks okay for me too. It doesn't look like the usual pancake because it's pancake, right? Pancake. So you won't be able to get the very smooth surface. So if you are quite confident already, you can try cooking through pancake in one bowl. This can be quite a good meal prep recipe. You can just prep a whole batch and then keep it in your fridge. Throughout the week, you can put it in microwave, reheat it, and then eat it with food and enough. So we will be able to try the recipe later. We are going to try the fried rice, the meatball, and the pancake. Just a little bit for everyone to try. You can give me feedback also. If it's too dry, if it's too salty. This is bubbling already. Oh, it's too soft. Look at that. So that's basically it. But okay, let me show you the. So the meatball is done already. You can just do it. Yes. If you want to make your oatmeal pancake even more fun, you can hide them into smaller pieces and that will become cereal. So some people, they made the pancake into cereal form and then they eat it with milk. When we finish the pancake portion. It is about one serving for an adult. The nuttiness of the wholemeal pancake has really bring you with satisfaction. So we have completed 3 recipes. Let me show one. This one is very cute. So there you go. First recipe, chicken oat meatball. Second recipe, fried brown rice. And the third recipe is this stack of oatmeal pancake, banana oatmeal pancake. So I hope you get to learn some of the recipes. If not, then perhaps you'll be. I hope you enjoy the snack that we are providing later. That's all. Thank you so much, everyone.